and yesterday I saw the movie The Losers. The Losers was directed by Sylvain White, who was the director of Stomp the Yard, and apparently he wanted to break into the stomping grounds of comic books based on the characters by Andy Diggle, which is a really fun name to say. This is the story of a team similar to like the A-Team, each member having a different specialty and training in the CIA. Clay's the leader, Rogue is the beefcake, Jensen's the techie, Cougar's the sniper, and Pooch is the pilot/driver. When they are betrayed and set up for assassination, they go into hiding and plot revenge against a mysterious villain named Max, with the help of an equally mysterious woman named Aisha. This movie does have some really hot action sequences, explosions, rocket launchers, and this amazing weapon called a snook that only gets used once, which gets your hopes up and then you're like, oh, no more snook? No more snooky snook? In any case, the action that takes place is really tight. There is an amazing scene where the gang steals an armored car in an unorthodox way, but results in a lame letdown when you find out what's inside. Unfortunately, there just isn't as much humor as there are slow-motion walking sequences, and if you start to think about the story too much, you'll start noticing a number of things that don't quite make sense. For example, why should the villains go through an elaborate plan to steal a bunch of money in cash if they plan to bump off the people who they owe money? What exactly is Zoe's character's plan? After a character gets shot in both legs, how is he running around 3 minutes later? Just a few of many questions that come to mind. Zoe Saldana's character Aisha doesn't have much in the way of depth or explanation, but she makes up for it by showing how flexible she can be in combat situations and how good she is at like flipping her hair in slow motion when she's getting busy. I need some work at it. And yes, that image from the trailer of her standing tall and shooting a rocket launcher is no doubt pretty intense. This is actually the first movie I've enjoyed Chris Evans in. I am not a fan of Fantastic Four, even though he actually may have been the best part of it, and Push was abysmal. Here, he gets to be a smart nerd who gets to be the comedy muscle of the team, and he gets one pretty great movie-stealing scene. Zoe Saldana and Chris Evans were the two that stood out, but none of the other characters really have a lot going for them for the audience to really hook onto and get in touch with. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was the comedian in Watchmen, has experience with that whole comic book / graphic novel world and gets to show a lot of intensity, but he is not really a grizzly, charming guy that wins you over. It feels like he's aiming for something in between George Clooney and Michael Madsen. He is believable, though, with one-liners like, "You are going to die very badly." Okay, he does it better than I do. The others on the team mostly fly under the radar, and Columbus Short is much better in an action movie than in the comedy Death at a Funeral that I saw last week. The villain, Max, was probably the most disappointing, played by Jason Patric. He just didn't feel evil or funny enough for the dialogue he had, and he had about as much personality as Dr. Doom in Fantastic Four, to the point that I actually thought it was the same actor. A great example for trying to be evil and failing. A beautiful woman holds an umbrella over his head for shade. For some reason, he shoots her, and now he's in the sun, sans umbrella, or Pretty Woman. How in the world does that solve your problem? Totally weak. Final verdict. You can probably enjoy this movie for the action and Zoe Saldana getting all feisty with her rocket launcher and Chris Evans' couple of funny scenes. If you start thinking too much about the story, it's not going to make sense. You won't get into the other characters very much either, but there is one nice twist in the movie. Originally, I was really on the fence about this movie, kind of giving it like a 50%, but now since I also saw The Backup Plan and Furry Vengeance in the same week, this movie seemed a lot better by comparison. So if you're gonna go to the movies this week, out of that group, definitely go see this one, okay? I'm Gina from Haunted Flower. Thank you for listening to my review, and I hope you'll subscribe to me on iTunes. Just look for Haunted Flower Reviews, and then you can take me with you when you go to the movies and see what I think. See you later! Shameless plug! Don't forget to see all of my reviews and videos of me on the Rotten Tomatoes show at hauntedflowerreviews.com. Also check out our store, hauntedflower.com, the web's best source for fantastic apparel. You can follow us on Twitter at haunted_flower or fan our Facebook page too.
If you're local to the Indianapolis area, visit indiemojo.com for details on how you can win free screening passes.
I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?